everyone. This podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
This fall,
Here he comes.
there's a new name for adventure on television. Brisco County Jr.
Hello, everybody.
Why, hello there.
Welcome. Hold on. I gotta look
You
at
gotta
the
look
title.
At what the title is.
Guys, welcome to the adventures of two guys watching the adventures of Brisco County Jr. because this other guy made us. Welcome, you guys.
Do we
this
have
is
theme music for this?
what you will have heard is an eagle sound
Okay.
that I put after saying the title. And then there's some like Brisco promos that hopefully Fox won't sue us about.
I don't think anybody's listening for Brisco.
No.
I think
No,
we
probably
can
not.
use little snippets of that theme song and not get arrested.
Yeah. I agree.
Although apparently Fox Sports occasionally uses it. I don't know.
Really?
Or they did. I don't know. I read something where like the theme song gets reused by some network.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Only kind of interesting.
Yeah. They thought that jam was too tasty to just let lie.
It's great. Oh, I did read that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good jam.
Yeah, it's not bad. So this is episode 3.
Hold on.
Okay, what?
We forgot to say the title is As Presented by Aaron Burr because Aaron Burr, sir, is the Patreon subscriber who's subscribed to a specific tier that has allowed this to happen.
Right.
And that's very important to note.
Yeah, he has commissioned this podcast from us.
Yeah. As you can see, we got I don't want to call it Brisco fatigue, but I just forgot to mention that. And I'm sorry, Aaron Burr, because this is for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be listening to it before anybody else.
Anyone else.
Hopefully, like in I'm imagining in like a
Some kind of bunker.
yeah, or like a gym, an abandoned gym where our voices are echoing.
Yeah. Just letting it play in an
yes.
abandoned gym on some Bluetooth speakers, wearing a cowboy hat,
Right.
listening to us talk about this show
You
that was canceled 25 years ago.
psychopath. Aaron Burr.
How dare you?
So yeah, what were you saying, Tom?
I don't know.
I think you were going to say this is episode 3. This is episode 3. We're doing about 7 Brisco County Jr. episodes per podcast. That is the exchange rate. So you get 7 episodes of Brisco County per episode of this.
Yes.
And we're on to episodes 14 through
20, I believe.
20.
Yes.
Yes.
I am not able to open up my Google Docs for the notes, so I'm just going to...
You're just going to wing it?
Yeah, it's not loading. I don't know what the fuck it's saying.
Well, it'll load.
No, it keeps telling me an error occurred. Try again.
You want my Wi-Fi password? You got my
I've
Wi-Fi
got your Wi-Fi
password.
you
I'm not
daffy
cutting any of
bastard.
this out, by the way. I think we know that.
Yeah, all right. Let's try this again. You fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. He got
I
it.
restarted Google
Folks.
Docs, everyone.
He got it. So let's jump right into it because we
Okay.
got a lot of episodes to cover.
All right.
The first episode 14, is called Mail Order Brides.
Full disclosure. I watched this episode 22 hours ago.
Okay.
I remember very little of it.
Full disclosure, I watched this like a week ago. I know some of the things that was introduced in this is that there's a book chronicling the adventures of Brisco
like
County.
Brisco and Bowler are famous. They're like they're like kind of Sherlock Holmesing it. They're the subjects of a popular book, I guess, back in the East Coast.
Yes, they're famous, but only for this episode.
No, it continues.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that narrative continues. Like it becomes a running joke that people, when Brisco introduces himself, people are like, "Oh, and you're his faithful companion, Boulder."
Right.
Bowler.
This one is about $1 million bull,
That's the B plot.
which seems like too much. Oh, no. Aren't they stealing the bull, though? The people that...
The Swill Gang.
Yeah, because
Well,
it ends with the mail order brides.
Yeah, it begins and ends with the mail order brides, quote unquote, are these. Yeah, they are kind of mail order brides.
Well, it's weird. They're going. I believe Bowler and Brisco intercept them?
They've been robbed by the Swill gang.
Right.
They're heading out west to marry themselves off, but they've been robbed of their dowries by the Swill gang.
Right, and correct me if I'm wrong, dowry is like the money that is supposed to be paid.
Yes. That's the money your family gives to your husband.
That's what was confused about, because they did seem like they didn't want to go get married.
No.
They seemed like they were sent for, and they had like a specific dude to meet up with, and then the dude was like, "You don't have your dowry, then forget it." And they didn't seem like they wanted to get married in the first place.
No,
so
they definitely didn't.
it was
But like, I remember there's a scene. Like I said, I have my memory of this. But there is a scene where Briscoe's talking to one of them, and he's like, "Well, you don't have to do this." And she's like, "Well, there's not really any. Like, I come from a kind of a shithole, and there's not really any other option for me."
right. Yeah,
But there is another option for her.
there is,
She can be her own person,
and she does.
and she does. They
Thanks,
all do.
Brisco, feminist icon, Brisco County.
He sort of is.
He sort of is.
Like-
He empowers women.
Like in the later
lot.
episode, when the naked time traveler shows up, and she's like, "Does my nudity bother
That's
you?"
a sentence.
And he's like, "Not in a." What does he say? He says like, "Not in like the global sense."
Right.
He's like,
She's
"But just
you
like."
can be naked all you want.
Yeah, he's like, "No, not in the general sense. It's just right now. It's very distracting."
Yeah. Yeah, I got the sense that if she was a dude, it would be the same thing of like, "Look, man, your balls are out. I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
I can't take anything you tell me about the future seriously.
Right. These two things are conflicting with
With
one
your
another.
coin purse whistling in the air.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember the bull thing was fucking weird, because what bull is worth $1 million? And then the Bly gang want to they want to steal it.
They're going to ransom it.
Yeah. Well, at first they were like, "We're going to sell it to a farmer," and it's like, no farmer's going to fucking buy that for $1 million.
Yeah.
And so then they're like, "We'll ransom it," which isn't a bad idea.
No, if you got what is it, like is it a mayor or a governor? Whose bull is it?
It's given to them by Spain.
And it comes with okay. Now there's a running bit.
Folks.
There's a running bit with the bull's sort of handler, like it's
Yes.
its valet is this guy with a lisp,
Yeah.
which is so, in my incredibly limited understanding, like Spanish, like spoken by people from Spain. That accent does have a bit of a lisp.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
But it's like a weird
But
running
this
thing
is
in
a running gag that this guy is like Sylvester.
Yeah, folks, the lows are low and the highs are high with this show. And this was not a good episode. As you can see, as you can hear, we're struggling with like trying to piece this episode together already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do a lot of gags with the bull. Socrates is very flustered. Like the guy gets mad when he tries to put him in a regular stable, so they have to build like this palatial stable for the bull.
The coming thing is, I guess, a flamethrower.
Yeah,
because they go see the mom. Mm-hmm. And
Moss will.
Yeah, and they just have a flamethrower, and she's like, "I like this." She was happening lady. I liked her.
Just straight up murder them. She has them both tied to the.
Yes, I didn't get why she didn't just shoot him in the back of the head the moment they.
Because Brisco uses his wily charm to be like, I got a last request. Give me some of that water.
Right. I just mean, because she finds out, oh, you're Brisco County Jr., and then she like ties them up and shit.
Yeah.
Why don't she just murder them right where they stand?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, she ties them up, and he wants the water, which is gasoline?
Yeah, apparently.
Was that established?
I think I don't remember. I know they go and get it from he has doesn't he have one of the ladies go get him the
Yes.
the drink? So it's
Mail order bride.
She brings him gas and not water, under the ruse of it being water, and then he makes Bowler ask for a cigarette, and then he,
Yep.
it's all flamethrowers.
There's also an "I shot the sheriff" gag in this.
Yeah.
If you recall.
Yep.
It's
I hit the sheriff. You hit the sheriff. Yeah, but I didn't hit the deputy.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Fucking Brisco. You and your puns. There's some bad ones coming up.
Every time you should liberally in post-production add that eagle in.
Yeah. I feel like we should move on from this episode.
Probably not a lot. I mean, obviously they saved the day. I mean, not like
this is a filler. This is a filler
yeah,
episode.
I watched this less than a day ago, and I barely remember it. I remember the embarrassing running gag with the Spanish guy.
Yeah. Well, let me
the
ask
bull
you,
was kind of funny.
Let me ask you this, Tom. Do you remember the next episode, which is called AKA Kansas?
Yeah.
This has some great character reveals in it.
Yeah.
One being that Bowler is stupid rich. I loved that reveal.
He lives in a mansion.
Because the whole show up until this point is Bowler keeps being like, oh, and we're going to get paid. We'll get paid, right? Let's get paid. And the reveal is like, oh, yeah, he's been getting paid. That's like...
Yeah.
He's very concerned about getting paid, and he's been like saving up his money and doing wise investments or whatever. And so he has a butler.
He does have a butler.
I love that Brisco just comes to his house and is like, "This is where you live?" And he's like, "Uh-huh." And like it's just like this casual, like, "Yeah, I live in a mansion." And it's like, "Oh shit."
I mean, we see in previous episodes that he makes out pretty well,
right?
In his bounty hunting.
Yeah, exactly. He's not doing that.
Always, like you said, he's always very adamant about getting paid.
And this is why. Like,
yeah, that's why he's got to get paid. This is how he makes a living.
Yeah, I love that detail.
Yeah, that was a fun one. The crazy ass lady that's obsessed with Socrates.
She's back.
Yeah, Rita.
Yeah, she comes back.
And he pushes a gigantic cabinet on top of her.
Yeah, and she's
you
fine.
would die.
Yeah. Yeah, that
they
thing
have warnings on those things not to let your children climb them.
That thing's made of hardwood.
Because they'll tip over. Yeah, that thing's like oak.
Yeah.
With glass doors.
It's a shame because I still don't like Socrates at this point. And this lady, this crazy obsessed lady, I think is probably his best shot at finding love. Like,
right.
When he was like, no, you're a criminal. I was like, Socrates, fucking
Sockman.
Take the win, man.
Can't be choosers, man.
Yeah, like she is she is a very good looking woman who, other than her obsession with you, seems functional otherwise.
Right. She works perfectly well in every other capacity.
Yeah. Just put it in there.
Take
Socrates.
the W, man. Take the W.
But instead he smashes her with a cabinet.
He pushes a piece of furniture on that probably weighs 2 or 3 times as much as I do.
Which is a low point for her, I bet, is like, you're in a bad place where the person you're courting has to shove furniture on you to get away. That's bad. That's a bad moment.
Yeah, when the person you're courting, who is a grating muppet of a man,
really
can't bear you so much that he shoves a 600-pound piece of wood onto you.
Really, any moment in time, if you're under a piece of furniture, you have to think, like, where did it go wrong?
Right, yeah, it's like laying there. Okay, let me reevaluate all the decisions I've made that have led me to this point.
Exactly. There's the shooting contest with the skillets.
Yeah.
Which when that began, I was like, well, someone's going to get killed. And it happens, and that made me happy. Not many people die in this. Or in this show, I mean.
No, this episode's called AKA Kansas. Did we say that?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's pretending to be that guy Kansas that he frequently pretends to be.
Right. And then that guy
actually shows up, finally, which is nice. That was a neat.
That was good. What was the coming thing in this? I feel like it was like an Area 51, because they briefly talk about the government having like...
Yeah, I think that was it. I don't remember anything else in terms of the coming thing, which is in most episodes they have the characters very cheekily either invent something or predict something that will come blazingly true.
And they do
in the next century.
They do it so hard later.
They do. They stare directly down the barrel of the camera.
This one, it wasn't that cheesy. Again, this is one of the less, maybe this because it's the ones I've watched earlier in the week, but these are the least memorable ones, these first couple ones.
It's a member of Bly's gang named Doc, who is trying to, he's using like a gas grenade? Like some kind of gas launcher to knock everybody out and steal the orb. He's Dixie's ex-husband.
Right. There's a lot of Dixies in this,
and Brisco is not happy about that.
Yeah, he loves.
He enjoys him some Dixie.
He calls her Dix, so he loves.
He does
Dix.
call her Dix.
It's
constantly
he's
juggling
all about
dicks.
the Dix. Yeah,
trying to please Dix.
Yep. We're children.
Mm-hmm.
This is an orb one.
It is an orb one.
That's what it is. These orb episodes, they're hit or miss with me. Very hit or miss. Because we
get a few in a row
orbs.
here.
Yeah, this one I liked because it did something that I feel like I almost underestimated this show. Because at one point Brisco comes back in time and like there's two
It's
Briscos.
in this episode.
Yeah, it's in this episode. He shows up and we don't know why, and it's like Bill and Ted, where he just like is like, oh yeah, I gotta take this and hey, good luck. And you like at first I thought like, oh, is that not really Brisco? Is this like an evil Brisco or something? Mm-hmm. I should have realized no, it's Brisco from a later later episode. So I have to give this show props for like setting up their shots like that. Mm-hmm. And not being complete chaos.
I like that's my favorite time. That's my favorite version of time travel. It's been in any movie. Is the Bill and Ted version?
Yeah,
where it's just like they don't quite do it here. They get that scene is pretty close to kind of what it is.
Yeah,
but like in Bill and Ted, where they're just like, oh, well, if we get out of this, I'm going to remember to put a key here. Yeah. And then they lift it up. Hey, we got out of it because there's a key here. Like that's my favorite version of time travel because that's what it would seem like.
Yeah, exactly.
To you as you're existing in the moment.
And this episode, it's sort of like sacrifices itself for that moment because that moment pays off really good later. And it doesn't say like, which one, Batman v Superman? Was that the one where the Flash shows up?
Yeah.
And it was like, it's Lois, she's the key to all this. And then that never pays off.
It sure does.
Because they had some sort of grand fucking plan that they just... Like, it's easier with a TV show where they're probably shooting these back to back. So they don't have to wait years.
Yeah, I'm sure they filmed the episode that this connects with pretty closely.
More TV shows should have time-traveling characters come back randomly.
Yeah, like Frasier.
Yeah. Definitely Frasier. Like a war-torn Frasier shows up in like the first episode. Yeah. That'd be so good.
And a hook for a hand, like a cybernetic arm.
The dog is the key.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that's probably the most significant part of this episode, I think.
Yeah. He
finds the orb and basically his future self steals it.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, man, I need this.
So there's like... Do they establish in this episode that there's more than one orb? Or was that already established?
It's already established.
There's like 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah. Which now, spoilers, the question is it all technically the same orb? Because I love that idea of time travel, is that multiple just versions of the same thing is existing now.
It all must be the same orb, right? Or are there I can't remember.
I don't know, in different time or different moments in time.
I don't know. This show gets...
Time travel starts becoming a fucking thing.
Right?
Yeah.
This show, wow. All right, let's keep going.
Wow. Okay, let's get to the next episode.
What's the next one?
This is where we really start. We're greasing up. We're greasing up, and we're really sliding down.
Oh, yeah.
Sliding down that tube.
Bounty Hunters Convention. This is a great episode.
Yeah. This is when I realized that Kim Manners is directing these. And
he's directed a few of them.
Yeah, and is directed a lot of the X-Files.
And a ton of Supernatural. He has since passed away.
Oh, that's a shame.
But yeah, he did a bunch of Supernatural and a bunch of X-Files and this show.
This one's about, it's what it sounds like. It's about a bounty hunters convention on an island that they clearly couldn't film an island.
It's the California coast. Like when they're chasing the bad guy at the end, it's like the cliff. Like that looks like the end of Goonies.
Yeah. No, it's Venice Beach. Like
it may be a little bit further north.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
It's 10 Little Indians. It's and then there were none.
Yes, this is a great episode.
It is.
I have one question at the top of it: is why is Socrates coming to the bounty hunters convention?
I don't know. They just bring him along.
Yeah.
He manages their accounts for them, I guess.
So basically, if
It's a
people haven't
business
figured out,
expense, so he's got to
right?
monitor how much money Brisco and Bowler are spending.
So they're on this island, and it's a bounty hunters convention, and then people start getting murdered one by one.
Immediately.
In
the cold open, a guy this like cartoon caricature of an Old West bounty hunter blusters past Brisco and barges into his room and gets dynamited to death.
Is that the guy who's the Carrot Top of Wild West villains? Where he bumps into one of them and he hands him a bag and he's like, "This is for your teeth when I punch him out."
Yes.
And it was like, you brought a prop to your threat?
He's a prop threatener.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good prop.
He immediately gets blown up.
Yeah. And then Brisco says, "Thought that was a non-smoking room," which I think I yelled at the TV, "You almost died, Brisco." That was not the time.
A man exploded feet away from you.
Yeah.
That could have been you.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird things in this one.
Cue the opening theme.
Yeah. So they have a British guy, which I thought they were going to do a fucking Sherlock Holmes, Conan Doyle thing, like they did in Shanghai Nights. I thought they were going to...
You thought it was going to be Conan Doyle?
Yeah. I maybe it's just because he was British, and I think all British people are Conan Doyle.
Yeah.
Mulder's gonna fuck on his grave.
He sure is.
Yeah. The other, let's see, what else? I want to talk about probably the star of this episode, which is technically the coming thing, which is I want to say a robot gimp suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a taser.
That was disturbing.
Yeah.
That thing was.
It's like a full body condom.
Yeah.
But
you put that on, you die. You smother to death immediately. It's supposed to be armor?
Yeah.
With a taser?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like in the shot when it first shows up.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, whoa.
What the fuck is that?
Brisco. Behind you, man. Behind you. And there's like a scientist, right? It's a Q type character?
Yeah. He's the old guy, right?
Yes. And he's like inventing crazy...
Yeah, well, he's the one old guy, right? Because there's two old guys.
Yes, there are.
The other old guy is, I think. Well, we're talking about.
Well, the other old guy is one of the murders. He's the Halloween skeleton in the bathtub.
Yeah. He's Van Gelder from the very famous original series Star Trek episode Dagger of the Mind.
Really?
Yep.
This show is littered with this sort of stuff.
And he's also Captain Tracy in the very infamous original series Star Trek episode, The Omega Glory, which is one of the more embarrassing episodes of television.
Which one is that?
That's the one where it's extremely jingoistic. They find themselves on a planet where the white people are the savage tribe, but then they worship the Constitution and the American flag.
Jeez,
it's bad.
Oof.
But Dagger of the Mind is a really good one.
Okay. Which one came first?
Dagger of the Mind.
Oh, okay, so they're like, you can do this one, but you got to do a real fucked up one later.
There's a lot of people that show up in Star Trek more than once.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this with the X-Files, where it's just like they were just triad actors.
Yeah, they used to.
We liked
you.
Come back sometime.
Yep.
Be on our Nazi planet episode.
Sure, do that.
What else is on this? The bathtub full of acid.
No, hold on. Jonathan Sheck is also there.
Who's that?
He's a Jimmy from That Thing You Do.
Oh yeah, isn't he like
he's the young gunfighter,
the Man in Black, who I predicted, and I realize now because that's the big thing when you go through the show and you look at actors in it, almost 95% of the cast has only appeared in one episode. So I saw this guy and he's trying to prove himself to Brisco. I thought this is going to be revealed to be his son. No. Why would they introduce any new characters? They have 4 characters that they're going to keep bringing through.
It seems like Sheck is going to be a return. I don't think he ever comes back, but they kind of set it up because he keeps yes. Oh, you were going to, when we'll end up working together. We'll talk about it the next time I see you. And he's like, how do you know you're going to see me again? It's like, because I know I will.
Yeah, which is weird because it would have happened in this season if they were to do that. Like, he wasn't gonna. They didn't get canceled, and they were like, oh, we had a whole plot ready for that guy. Like, they must have chosen against it.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, he's there. Brisco does a real dick move, stealing Bowler's bed. I thought that was a real dick move.
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors him for his bed.
For his own bed, because his bed blew up.
And they both have to sleep on the floor anyway, because they go sleep in Sock's room.
Oh, right. Right. Wait, why do they do that?
I forget.
I don't know. Oh, is it because the bathtub?
Oh, because the acid bathtub.
Right, and that's where the bathtub comes, where he says, what does he say? Sam took an acid trip, is what Brisco says. It's like, you
How would he even
motherfucker.
know that phrase?
I don't know. Spoilers, I texted you this. I was looking at the cast, but Timothy Leary is in a later episode. So maybe there's a whole thing
There's
there.
a whole acid subplot in Brisco County, Jr.
Yeah. Oh, man. The comet breaks into the hotel, which I thought was also shocking. Because the horse, he opens his door and the horse is in the hallway. And he's like, oh, comet. And it's like, did he go by the front desk clerk? Like, what? How did he get
he bluffed
up there?
his way inside, man.
Yeah.
Comet's a pro.
Comet is a pro.
Yeah. Comet's it's a fucking IMF agent.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Comet is a figment of his imagination. Because he starts holding like elaborate conversations with Comet.
I don't believe that's happening. I think that's a figment of his imagination.
I want to
Were it not that other people clearly see the horse and interact with it, I would totally agree.
Later, he has a part where he's like, "Where are they, Comet?" And then he like receives like some complex information about where these people are. I really want them to like cut to Briscoe's vision, and it's like blurry around the edges, and Comet just has a man's face, and it's like, "Hello, Briscoe. I will always love you. You know that, right?"
It's just a man's head on the horse's body.
Yeah. It's just
Speaking
absolute insanity. It's like Saddam Hussein's face, even though he hasn't existed yet.
He hasn't been born yet.
Yeah.
Because he is when he talks to Comet, he has like back and forth conversation. Comet like doesn't like, you know how like Lassie would at least bark? Like Comet's not making any noises.
Right. They treat it like he's eccentric. But here's where it gets fucked up. Is like later, and we'll get to it, like Comet's right.
Yes.
The information he gives is correct.
He has accurate information for a horse.
Which means
an accurate horse messenger.
Which means something is happening there. Mm-hmm. Something more amazing than most of the show.
Right. This horse is haunted by some powerful spirit.
You want your coming thing, Brisco. Look into your fucking horse. Mm-hmm. Your psychic horse. So he goes out he gets knocked out, bringing Comet back, and this was a really good gag I liked, was him tied to the flagpole.
Yeah.
And he has to climb it to get off of it, to get out, and then lightning strikes it.
Yeah.
That was solid.
It was a good scene, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good low budget idea for like a suspense sequence.
Yeah. They always, we've mentioned in our previous episodes of this, they find good traps for them to be stuck in. They always, because, you know, there's the stereotypical Wild West traps, like buried next to an anthill, the things like that. They keep finding fun, inventive ways to do things like that. In the show.
This has two. The other one is when Bowler gets knocked out.
Yeah, Bowler gets tied to the back of a target,
and they're shooting at it.
Yeah,
it's dark.
It's good. Yeah,
yeah. And the villain turns out to be Gimp Westworld.
Yeah, the villain is Van Gelder.
Yeah, it's the skeleton in the bathtub turns out to just be. Which again, when I saw it, I thought like, all right, if you're in a first of all, okay. Did somebody switch his bathwater with acid?
I don't know.
Because then you get in your bathtub and you're like, this is acid. And you get out. It's a full skeleton. So I thought like, well, that's suspicious because at least the torso would be intact. Or because it's like lounging out of the bathtub.
Yeah.
And so no one else asked these questions, but it was revealed later that it's just some dusty old skeleton this old man put in the bathtub.
Luggage.
Yeah.
He brought that with him.
Yeah.
From home.
Yeah, he did. He has a bunch. He has a bunch in a cabinet.
They're all hanging up in a closet,
Yeah.
like on hangers.
So yeah,
He opens his skeleton closet.
Yeah.
It's full of skeletons.
This ends with Brisco County fighting an old man in a robot gimp suit.
Well, fighting. It ends with Brisco County beating an old man in a gimp suit.
Yeah, that's true. It's a weird one.
Yeah,
it's good weird. This is the highs being high.
Yeah, this was a very fun episode.
Yeah. Any more thoughts on it?
No. I enjoyed it a lot. It's one of my favorite ones that we've seen.
Yeah, this is one where I was like doing something else while watching this, and I slowly was just watching the episode because I was like, "This is fucking great."
Yeah, it's a fun episode.
This next one is this was a filler. I thought. I don't know. This is Fountain of Youth.
Oh yeah, this is okay. This is that guy. The guy that brings Brisco back to life comes back.
Yes,
Professor
and his
Cole.
Daughter is,
and his daughter, who is his mom.
Yes, his daughter.
His daughter mom.
That's weird. At least they didn't make her his wife or
his
something.
wife mom. Yeah, that'd been strange.
Yeah, or his wife daughter. That's
his daughter.
They're
wife.
both pretty bad.
Don't like that.
Yeah, his daughter mom, who is well. This begins with I remember Brisco trying to speak Chinese, which was a weird one. Yeah, it's her hanging out with like these real hot swole dudes.
Yeah, there's a gang of hot dudes that I'm pretty into.
Yeah, they were pretty great.
She has a hot gang, and it's because she's using the orb to...
They all look like Thor's cousins.
Yes.
Yeah. And she keeps talking about how she needs her medicine. And at first I was like, is this heroin?
Yeah.
Is this old-timey heroin? Is that what's happening?
Well, yeah. I mean, if it was heroin she needed, she could have just... This is $18.99. She could have just gone to the drugstore and bought some.
Exactly, yeah. That's true.
Or she could have had her three swole dudes go steal it.
Yep. And they... Jeez. This one's slipping by.
Well, it basically... she tricks Brisco into helping her dad... and it's really because she wants to steal the orb because
it's a whole triple cross.
Right. She uses the orb's power to make her young, like maintain her youth.
Yeah, and that's all she wants.
Yeah.
And she double crosses her dad, and then she double crosses the other guy. Mm-hmm. And then she ends up becoming real old, and her young entourage is like, ew, gross.
Yeah. It's the only reason these hot dudes are hanging around. Her gang of hot dudes.
Oh, she's old.
Oh, ew.
It really is. She's just like a hot lady who's gotten these dumbasses to go along with her crimes. And then the moment she's not hot, they're like, no, not interested.
This is when Bly shows up and steals the orb, right?
I think so.
This is because, let me see here in my notes. Yeah, right. Because Bly shows up and steals this orb. And reveals that he is A, 612 years old, and B, from the future.
Yeah, that was a real shocker.
Yeah, I was not prepared for either of those pieces of information.
You know what this show reminds me of?
What?
Assassin's Creed.
Kinda.
Where you're like, you start Assassin's Creed being like, oh, this is a fun little like period thing. I know the future exists in the first one anyway. But then it just starts getting so over the top where you're like, okay, so they're like from the past future, and there are in fact orbs in Assassin's Creed as well.
Yeah.
And it's just so insane where there's something, Star Trek did this too. There's something disheartening about an asshole time traveler.
Yeah.
Where it's someone from the future and they're just like, you suck. And it's like, no, you can't be like that. You're from the future. Yeah. Star Trek TNG did a good one where the guy comes back. It's actually, I actually like this one where he comes back and he's like, keeps talking about how he's witnessing a historical event on the Enterprise that's going to happen, but he won't tell them what it is. And the reveal becomes that he's just some guy who found the time machine and now he's pocketing random crap on the ship. Like, it's one of the best reveals because it's a guy who's like, if you had a time machine, what would you do? And it's just go back in time and just steal shit. And not even important shit. Like, just like, shit that he sees on the tables. Yeah. Like he's just a grifter. Like a shitty grifter.
It's time bandits.
Yeah.
It's like we can travel through time. Let's fucking steal shit.
It's like Time Cop where it's like let's travel through time, Let's steal gold.
Steal a bunch of Confederate gold and use it to fund Ron Silver's presidential campaign.
There's so many better ways to make your life better if you have a time machine. You don't have to steal. Like this, the whole point of having a time. It doesn't matter.
No, it's fine.
And so that's the weird reveal here is that this like crazy cowboy is from the future.
Yeah. Bly, who has been an aloof, interesting villain up to this point, nary a hint that he's from the future and is 6 centuries old.
You think he'd be harder to defeat being from the future?
It's only when he gets powers once he's around the orb.
Okay, because there's a part where he gets powers in this, and I couldn't, because he drinks the medicine. Someone drinks the medicine, and then they start getting powers, and I couldn't figure that out.
Oh yeah.
Also, what is the medicine?
I don't know. There's goo inside it.
There's goo. Where did it come from? The orb? Is it just that guy? He's just like doing mad science with the orb.
I think so. He gives the old guy, Professor Cole, gives Brisco that bullet, right? The special bullet.
Yes.
And he shoots Bly with it, and it's like it traps Bly in a rod in the orb.
Right.
It's a very Jafar moment where it's like no,
right,
and he gets trapped in the orb.
This is a crazy.
I think Brisco drinks it to get powers for a second, doesn't he?
Does he?
Doesn't he?
Jesus, I might have to rewatch this.
Christ Almighty!
This was a fucking weird one.
Somebody drinks that juice.
Someone drinks that juice and they get powers, and it's not Brisco. It's like someone bad. I don't understand.
Oh,
that
it
juice.
might be one of the hot dudes, right?
It might be, yeah. So it de-ages you, but also makes you superpowered. Apparently,
sure, man. It's the orb, bro.
All right.
Who can know the mysteries of the orb?
Yeah, I really want to get to this next episode.
Okay, what's the next one?
Because it's Hard Rock.
Hard Rock.
This
is one of my favorites we've watched so far because it is 110% crazy.
This might be the craziest thing that a show has ever done.
Yeah.
Because it's not explained.
Nope.
And I assume I mean we don't even have to guess if we're talking about the same thing.
Elvis is the sheriff.
Elvis is the sheriff.
His name, they call him Aaron.
I don't know why.
I forget his name. It's Aaron something, and of course Aaron was Elvis's middle name.
Yes, they go. This is about them going to a town called Hard Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And Bowler is super thirsty for this ex.
Yeah.
And we learn his real name, which is James Longfeather.
James Longfeather, yeah.
Which is some bit of lore.
Sure.
And then the sheriff of this town, there's no other way to say it, is Elvis.
He's just Elvis.
It's an actor doing imagine like Steve Martin in Little Shop of Horrors, but Elvis. It's just Elvis.
I mean, Elvis did some westerns, so just picture that.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's never explained.
Nope.
It's just a guy doing Elvis. And then they have the first thing he says is he says something where he walks in and he's like, what do you say? He's like, sorry, I went and threw a party at the county jail. And it's like, what the fuck is happening right now?
That happens a lot.
Later, there's a hotel called Heartbreak Hotel.
Yeah.
He invents the Elvis sunglasses. Is he eating a banana, whatever, sandwich
I don't know if
he's
eating that, but they make a joke of he just eats. Like he goes and orders food with Brisco, and it's like he orders 7 plates of food, and then he turns to Brisco, you want anything?
Yeah.
And then Briscoe's like, oh, you know what make... It's like, no, it's great. You just put your order in, and then they give it to you, and you take it home. So he's inventing takeout. And then Brisco further elaborates on that by saying, you know what would be great is if you could just ride your horse up to it and tell him your order and get your food.
He casually invents
drive-thru.
They casually invent McDonald's in this because then later...
Bowler's lady invents the hamburger.
Yeah, Lenore invents hamburgers.
That's right.
And he says that they should be called cow pies or something.
She suggests cow pies, and he's like, I don't think that's the name for it.
This is it. So this episode invents drive-through McDonald's and Elvis.
Among other things, Elvis invents sunglasses.
Yes.
My new day glasses.
I watched this movie. I watched this episode yesterday. I gave it my full attention, and all I can remember is this Elvis thing. I was fixated on it.
You wrote down a note that I watched this episode this morning while I was doing stuff for work, and I said this thing aloud to the television.
What?
It's like, did he blow that bear?
Oh yeah, that's one of my notes as well. When did that happen? There's a part where Bowler has to distract a bear.
They get okay, so they meet this young kid named Whip. Because remember, the town is like...
I believe you.
The town is under the thumb...
Or there's like a father thing going on in this.
The town is under the thumb of this guy named Hondo.
Right.
He's basically running a protection racket.
Yes.
He's such a ferocious criminal that like nobody will do crimes in this town because he's there, but you have to pay him off, and then he just kind of murders casually. And this kid Whip gets arrested in a scrape, I think. They're trying to fight with Hondo or something. He ends up in Elvis's jail.
Yes.
And the three of them, Whip and Brisco and Bowler and maybe Lenore. I don't think she's there. They get trapped in a cave.
And a bear shows up. And Bowler's like, leave this to me. And he starts like making bear. He tries to become a bear.
He says the only thing bears respect is another bear.
Which I want a tattoo of. I want that on a pillow.
We should make that a t-shirt. The only thing bears respect is another bear. And just like a bear.
Yeah. Oh man. And and so he starts acting like a bear, and then he runs off with the bear.
Yeah, they wrestle down a tunnel off screen.
And then he shows up later, and he's like spitting out fur.
He's spitting and wiping his mouth, and Brisco says, "What happened?" And he's like, "Don't ask."
Exactly. To which I wrote the note, and apparently did he blow that bear?
Yeah, I said that aloud to my television.
Was he such a convincing bear?
Right.
That
they had a bear relationship.
Yeah, and he blew that bear. Mm-hmm. They blew each other, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's the only thing that could have happened. I don't know what else could have happened there. What is the implication?
I don't know.
Did he eat the bear? Did he bite it?
I think he bit it.
He fucking blew that bear. This episode is incredible.
Yeah.
It has Elvis in it. It just has Elvis.
He's just there. He says, "I'm all shook up." When he gets into a fight.
Why?
When he gets into it, like this guy he vouches for, who speaks in $10 words, winds up rolling on them and diming them out to Hondo and gets a witness killed. And he and that guy get into a fight. And he's like, first he says, "I'm all shook up." And then when he's doing his karate stances and he says, "Don't make me use my stuff on you."
Yeah. That actor, imagine being that actor and being like, okay, all I know is I have to play Elvis.
Yeah.
In the Western, and you show up on set like, so what is this? And they're like, wait, we don't know. The script just showed up today, and we're
just this guy.
And Bruce Campbell's just like, man, I should do something as
right.
Elvis
I was about
someday.
to say it's ironic that many years later Bruce Campbell would play a much better Elvis.
Yes.
Like, this guy's not bad, but he's not great.
He's just doing an Elvis impression.
Yeah.
And I guess you could argue that Bruce Campbell is in the later thing, too, but his is so much better.
His is better, yeah.
And he's doing, Bubba Hotep, what made that so good is that his Elvis is like, there's emotion, there's range, there's depth to his Elvis.
Right.
You're like,
he's an actual character.
Yeah.
Who just happens to be Elvis.
I want to watch that again. That's
good. It's a good-ass movie.
That's a great movie.
Guys, watch it. Don Coscarelli. Bubba Hotep.
Yeah. The fucking Elvis. I don't know what else to say about this episode.
Other than it's goddamned Elvis.
It's like the entire B plot is just, hey, look how this guy's Elvis.
Right. It's the adventures of Sheriff Elvis
in
1899. Yeah. Or whenever this takes place.
Why did that happen?
I don't know.
Jesus.
What was another thing? I think I have something else written down.
Was he an Elvis impersonator and also like the producer's brother? Or brother-in-law or something.
Maybe?
I don't know. Do you have any more notes for this?
No.
All I have is blowing a bear and Elvis.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much
because it took up the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, they get this guy Hondo arrested at the end. There's a showdown between him and Whip, who turns out to be Hondo's son.
There's Hondo puns in this, right?
Probably.
Like, where they make, like, Honda gags. I'm pretty sure one of the, like, the chapter titles is a pun off of that.
Honda Days?
Probably. Yeah, we covered the coming thing in this.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I feel like there's another Elvis line that I need to call out, but
the Heartbreak Hotel thing was weird.
Heartbreak Hotel,
because it implies that this man becomes Elvis.
Or like Elvis read about this man.
Yes.
Maybe he's Elvis's father.
Right. Maybe that's...
Or like grandfather.
Maybe if his name is Aaron, but his last name isn't Presley.
No, it's like... I should have written it down. His name is Aaron something, like Aaron Veal or...
What if Presley... I'm trying to think of how this works. How does it work where the name doesn't pass on, where it's like this guy is Elvis's uncle on his mom's side or something?
Aaron Viva.
Aaron Viva. You fucking... God damn it, Brisco. Yep. Why do you have to do this, Brisco? What do you have to gain from this? What do they have to gain from making Elvis in this episode?
I don't know. It's crazy.
Fucking insane.
I want to point out that Hondo's thug is the bus driver from Speed.
Is he?
Yeah.
He is! Oh my God! That's great.
He's the bus driver from Speed.
Good on him.
He came out the same year.
I knew that guy.
Yeah.
He looked familiar.
Yeah.
Fuck. Elvis. All right, should we move to the next one?
Yeah.
This one's called Brooklyn Dodgers, which at first I was like, oh, are they going to go to
baseball,
New York?
Yeah.
I want to see them go to New York, or I wanted to see like a baseball
Some baseball
episode.
shit.
Yeah.
It's about two Dickensian orphans from
being
Brooklyn.
Pursued by the Irish mob.
Yes. There is a lot of Irish accents in this episode.
Yes, there is. This is a hell of an episode.
The little girl is in both Addams Family movies.
Oh, yeah. She's like the shitty kid.
She's the Girl Scout in the first movie and then the shitty rich kid in the second movie. Don't know if they're supposed to be the same character.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the nice hat gag.
Yeah.
Bowler
It's enrages Boulder. Bowler. I keep calling him Boulder.
Yeah.
What's funny is the episode starts with them about to apprehend this guy who is Bowler's furiously pissed at him, and Briscoe's like, "You got to calm down." He's like, "I am calm," but he said my hat looked like he
made fun of my hat or something.
Right,
like
and
that.
then Briscoe says all he said was "nice hat," and then like a scene later, this little boy says "nice hat" to him. I'm like,
Bowler,
is Bowler gonna beat the shit out of
that's
this
what
kid?
happened. Bowler goes, "Oh," and Briscoe's like, "Calm down." And it's like, if Briscoe wasn't there, he was gonna beat this
Right,
kid.
he was just gonna be in the middle of the town street, just beating the shit out of this kid.
This is such a weird episode. It's this marks something special though. This was an okay episode. This is mid-range, but it did mark the first time I liked Socrates. Because Socrates' B-plot is he's just trying to make this family whole again.
Right.
And he's really, like, what I liked is how excited he was at the end and how, like he was legitimately, like happy that he was able to do this for these people.
Yeah, the story is the two orphans have this fortune that they're supposed to inherit, but they're being chased by the mob. They're trying to get to San Francisco in time to do it, and then their former, like, schoolmaster or orphanage master is like posing as their relative to try to steal it out from under them.
Right.
And he very quickly gets murdered by the Irish mob.
Yeah, the Irish mob
justifiably.
They are not fucking around.
No, they shoot this guy instantly.
They're more competent than any of the bad guys we've seen so far, to the point that they kill Bowler and Briscoe. I mean, they didn't aim right. Yeah. Because they invent bulletproof vests in this.
Yeah.
But when they did that, I knew, obviously it's TV show, I knew they were going to be fine, but I was like, damn. Yeah. Like, they just execute them into a lake. And it was like,
they
holy
sure
shit.
As hell do.
Irish mob getting things done.
Yeah, man. So, yes. In the B plot, Socrates ends up finding through a series of events, which takes him across the path of a man who invents both sushi and warm sake.
Yes, that was great.
That was a good scene.
That made me want sushi.
Finds this woman who turns out to be the orphan's mom, who thought the kids drowned on a boat coming over, and then he reunites them and they all get their fortune.
Which was lucky because Briscoe kept being like, money's not going to buy anything for this kids. Imagine how bad it is. Yeah, they're millionaires, but they don't have parents. I kept thinking, like, I'll take it. Yeah. Sorry, folks. Sorry, parents.
Sorry, mom and dad.
I would trade your lives for money.
for $1 million.
Just $1 million.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean. Where it was just like, I don't feel that bad for these kids because... Like, they're doing okay.
$1 million.
There are plenty of orphan kids who don't have $1 million.
Right. It goes a long way, especially in the 19th century.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's with these $1 million things?
I don't know.
It reminds me of Birdemic, where the only number they they say is $1 million usually, or like it's always insane amounts.
Right, it's always just like cartoonishly large amounts of money.
I guess what I was getting at is that it felt like for a second that Brisco was going to like adopt these kids.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't want Brisco to have child sidekicks.
He doesn't need that.
But luckily they have a mom.
So they got a mom. Also, the bad guy straight up falls off a balcony.
Yes, he does.
And they do several different slow motion angles of what is clearly a dummy.
Yes, it's still the most brutal death they've done. I feel like
kind of. The
blunt force trauma is pretty brutal.
The pirate drowning in quicksand is
that
pretty
is
intense.
The most brutal. You're right.
The Wishmaster drowning in quicksand.
Comet. They try to steal Comet, which I was weirded out about because the kids steal Comet and Comet just goes with it until Briscoe's like, "Whoa, Comet!" and Comet then stops.
Well, he probably thought he was helping some kids out.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. He was just like, okay, sure, let's do this, stranger kids.
Yeah, I'll help you kids.
And then Briscoe's like, come on, no, we don't help children.
Stealing my horse.
Shoots him off the horse.
Well, I mean, Bowler straight up tells him, he's like, they hang horse thieves around here, and the girl starts crying.
Yeah, they shouldn't have children around them.
No, they really shouldn't have kids around them.
No. Yeah, this was a good solid one. I had one question about this.
Yeah.
And this sort of, I just realized it in this episode, but it kind of goes for a lot of them, is like in the previous episode, Brisco ricochets off of pans to do this amazing shot. Mm-hmm. And he shoots those kids, his holsters off.
Yeah.
But then the Irish mob show up, and there's like three of them. They're like, all right, stop right there. And he like puts his hands up, and he's like, well, I guess we're going to get executed in a river. And it's like, can't you handle this, Brisco?
Looks like nobody's ever going to find our bodies.
Yeah, it's weird that sometimes Brisco's just like, oh, you got me. And other times he's like, I am superhuman and will shoot everything in this room.
I think he needs like a lot of setup time.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
He really needs to be able to focus and spread out and take his time.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah. When he's doing it with that kid shooting the bottles, like, he's just right. He just does it.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know. It seems suspect. It seems like his
suspect.
Yeah, it seems like his abilities vary depending on the scene they need to happen. But yeah, other than that, I have no more thoughts on this episode.
Yeah, I think we can move on.
Okay, well, we're on our final episode.
Of this episode. Not of the series.
This final episode of this podcast episode, yes.
Yes.
By Bly.
Yep. As the title suggests, this is the death of Bly.
Sort of. Doesn't he disappear?
He turns into time cop dust.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He sure does.
This felt like the season finale.
Yeah.
But it's not.
There's
like 7 more episodes after this. Very strange. It's like Game of Thrones.
I guess they wanted to wrap
Bly
up
is
their
the White Walkers.
I guess they wanted to make sure they wrapped up their story before they got canceled.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, they felt it coming.
Probably.
Yeah, they were in very quiet meetings with executives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, we better fucking just do this.
Yeah.
This wraps up the orb.
Yeah.
So we think. There could be more coming. There could be more.
So it starts out with a sweet pun where Brisco says, that sweet moment you were talking about? It just went sour.
Yeah.
Cue music.
Well, it starts out with a guy doing...
They're chasing a Frenchman through the streets.
Yeah, I'm going to say this guy... I looked up the actor. He's from Quebec. But I'm still going to say it was racist. Because it's a guy doing like a...
He's doing a heavy French accent and speaking perfect English, except for he refers to himself in the third person.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he's speaking... There's a few parts where he's saying stuff in French, which might be gibberish. But again, this guy's from Quebec.
No.
That doesn't mean that he isn't... That he is like French. It just most likely.
We would like to
It just felt like it was... I just felt... I have no French blood in me, and I was still like, I'm offended by this. This is an upsetting portrayal of a Frenchman.
He basically gets. He's the last member of Bly's gang, and he gets Brisco and Bowler are chasing him, but he gets snatched up by 2 government agents.
Yeah, in an alley.
Yep.
And that's when that line comes. This also made me realize this in the previous episode. Oh, okay, so they have a lot of use of the city set now. Like they shot on a city set for a while because we've now spent more episodes in a city.
In a city,
somewhere.
yeah. We spent a lot of time in caves.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time on the same 3
They
roads.
showed up on set and they're like, we had to strike the cave set. We had to build a city for this other thing. And they're like, all right, I guess we'll use that.
Guess we'll just write a couple of episodes in this city.
Yeah.
Bowler invents wine country.
Yep.
He invents Napa Valley.
The things they invent are so random.
Yeah.
Like it's like something the writer like saw on TV that week.
It must be, because I mean, you can't. Every week can't be like inventing the automobile, so they have to pick like these kind of more obscure, or like not even obscure is not the right word, just kind of more
wine country is such a
conceptual things,
random thing.
Yeah.
To invent. There's time travel in this. That's the big
There
one.
sure as hell is. Naked lady from the future.
Terminator time travel.
It's Terminator rules if
Sort
you're
of.
a lady.
Well, yeah, because Brisco has no
Brisco
problem.
goes through time twice.
Well,
doesn't need to take off a single item of clothing.
You remember what she says. This naked lady shows up, and it's a crazy. It's like an iTunes visualizer vagina that she comes out of.
Yes.
And she's completely naked. And that's startling. But what she says is for long distance time travel, you have to be naked. That's how she puts it. So the idea is, since she's going these great lengths of time, she has to be naked. Brisco doesn't have to be naked because he's only going to a couple weeks ago. That's
sure
the explanation. I'm not justifying it. That's what the explanation is.
Yeah.
They want to have their cake and eat it too. Where
They
like,
sure do.
Where again she shows up naked, so they're like, check this out, and it's kind of, you see like they warp it a little bit, but you're seeing a lot of this lady.
Yeah.
But then Briscoe's like, hey, I'm woke, all right? You should put on clothes.
Well, no, it's not what he says.
I know that's not what he says.
But
you know
says,
what I
just,
mean.
do you have a problem with my nudity? And he's like,
he
well,
says,
not in the general sense,
yeah.
but it's I'm a little distracted right now.
Right.
And then she asks, well, could you have something I can wear? He's like, yeah. He go to the wardrobe.
I guess it's
So
not
he's
that.
not like, put some clothes on.
Yeah. It just felt like they were like, we want to make this lady naked for time travel.
Yes, yeah.
But we want Brisco to still be like cool
Yeah.
and a gentleman.
Mm-hmm. She's from 5502. 3,000 years in
right.
the future.
This raises a lot of questions. What? Oh, fuck. What kind of butterfly effect is happening where they have to go back to this moment?
Right.
That's insane. Is Brisco like Jesus Christ? Because
maybe.
she sort of is like, I know about you, Brisco. Like she knows.
Yeah, why
who he
does she
is.
know about it?
He's got to be like, that's to be that from that long
has
ago
to
and
be-
that famous. He has to have started a religion, right?
Or in some time paradoxical way, he's already the one who stops Bly. She explains
Right.
that Bly is from her time, stole the orbs, and took it like 2,000 years into the past
Right.
to rule there. And like now he's trapped here and he's trying to get the orbs back or something like that.
It's fucking madness.
They find the orb in a cave in the first episode, if you recall.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I have written down in my notes, I was like, Jesus Christ, Bly has a time machine.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, this episode just goes whole hog.
Also, imagine having this much technology in a time machine and still getting like murdered by like the West.
Yeah.
Like some guy in the West. That's shitty.
Like, why? I don't understand why they didn't go to like a different time and just stop Bly themselves.
I don't know. I don't know why
they had
any
to go-
of this.
Why they had to go to the 19th century Wild West.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I like that Brisco just trusts her too. Like she's like, I'm from the future. This is what's happening. And he's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
does
stuff
not
he's-
question the future lady.
Stuff he's seen so far. Like, I think he mentioned seeing himself at this point.
Yeah.
Or at some point in the episode he does.
And this is the episode where he goes back in time.
Yeah.
And takes his own orb.
But the dialogue is different, so he changed the past.
I think more likely they were like, let's not go back and check.
Yeah.
Like the writer was like, I remember.
Script supervisor was asleep at the wheel that day. So the lady's name is Karina. She says she can't interfere with the events of the past, but that's like she travels back in time and is telling Brisco about the future and how to prevent it, which is the exact definition of interfering with the events of the past.
Doing.
Yeah.
They're all doing that. Bly is doing that. He's been doing it. Like, who gives a shit at that point?
This episode is wild.
This is what I still hope this is the case, and I want it to be, and I know it's not going to be, is I want Brisco to time travel and, like, have sex with his own mom or something, and go to the future briefly.
I'm going to stop you there.
And hold on. Hear me out. And, like, because of some insane paradox, he has subconscious knowledge of the future, and that's why he keeps randomly predicting things.
Oh, yeah.
Bowler, too. Like, Bowler has sex with Briscoe's mom as well. And, like, it's just some crazy paradox. Like, I'm not
understanding that first element. Like, them coming into contact with time-traveling orbs, giving them subconscious echoes of the future, I get. I don't understand why they need to fuck Briscoe's mom.
I don't know, man. I want it to be some crazy paradoxical.
Than Briscoe.
No, it needs to be some crazy loop where the reason, because he can't. All right, my first thought was he could go back into the future, absorb the future, and get like his memory wiped, and that's why he's just subconsciously talking about the coming thing. Mm-hmm. But no, he's been talking about it. So there has to be something that, I guess, since it's time travel, it could just, like you said, echo throughout time, and that's what's affecting him even in the past.
Yeah.
I was just...
a real frequency sort of effect.
Yeah. Is that what frequency is?
Well, he changes events, and then just kind of slowly what changes appears in his memory.
Right. In this case, it's just like a knowledge of the future that's in his subconscious.
Maybe he's from the future and was put in the past with his memory.
Bam! Bam! That's what it is.
Yeah.
He's from the future and put in the past with his memory wiped. And then he fucked his own mom. But it's like a great... it's like a great mother.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of that Chuck Palahniuk book. Doesn't matter.
There's a scene where Bruce Campbell's stuntman tackles Bly's stuntman through a table and then looks directly at the camera, and it is clearly not Bruce Campbell.
Like winks. Hi, I'm not Bruce Campbell.
It's like, oh, that's not you.
Yeah.
Although, Bruce Campbell is like 40% stuntman, so he usually is the one crashing through things.
I think in times like this where they're just, I'm sure he was like, oh, I can do it. I'll jump through it. You want me to jump through it? I'll jump through it. And they're just like, Bruce, we have insurance things, and like,
we don't.
We're not your friend Sam.
If you snap your ankle, we gotta shut this down for like 6 weeks.
Whole lot of people fall into their deaths lately. The John Bly, he dies twice in this.
He dies twice. There's some real Infinity War shit going on in this movie.
Yeah. How does he? Is it Time Cop rules? Because
it's like a mix between Time Cop and Last Crusade.
He melts into ash.
Yeah, they Time Cop. They Time Cop him into Last Crusade dust. Is I think what I wrote.
Yeah, that's what happens.
He like touches him with the. Doesn't he touch him with the orb?
The orb doesn't make any... Because in this episode, by the way, Bowler gets killed.
Bowler dies, yeah.
Yeah, and then I knew they were going to time travel it.
Yeah.
But there was like part of my brain that was like, I would be done with this show if they kill Bowler. But that's the point, is we all would be done with this show if they killed Bowler.
And I remember the series finale, so I know that he didn't die here.
And of course he wouldn't die. Why?
No,
they would never.
That would be a
kill
terrible
him.
decision for the show. That's the completely wrong tone.
So yeah, Brisco goes back in time to save his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the first time Bowler dies, everything goes right except Bowler dies. And she's like, you did it. And then Brisco keeps stealing people's time portals.
He does.
This is like the second time
right
portal.
Into it, yeah.
Which is hilarious. It's like a cat trying to get through the front door.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Because they keep being like, okay, Brisco, now don't you do anything now. We're going to open this time portal.
Yeah. And
fuck, he jumped right in.
He runs right into, makes no attempt to stop him.
Head first, too. You could probably, you don't have to dive through it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he saves Buller's life. That's what I was going to say, is when Buller's dying the first time, he's like, touch my rods, touch the orb, it'll make you better like it did me. And he has a great line where it doesn't work, and he's like, it's because it knows I hate it.
Yeah.
Which is a great line.
It's a good line. The whole scene's good.
Yeah.
Bowler has a good death scene.
Yeah, he does.
So it feels real. Like it feels like they aren't gonna
they stretch it out.
Retcon it. Yeah.
But the orb makes no sense because it did revive Brisco. It's not going to do that for
It's
Bowler.
Deus Ex Machina. It does whatever they need it to do.
It really does. Like someone just pulls out a rod and like electricity just does a thing.
Or like Bly gets the power to freeze time because he's standing next to it. Like
it's like, who the fuck knows?
Yeah. So the first time he throws him right the fuck out the window.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
It's pretty awesome. Unlike the previous episode, it is not a dummy. It's a stunt man flying through a window.
They learned their lesson.
Yeah.
They watched the dailies and they're like, oh, okay.
That doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get a guy. Everybody, let's pay a real guy to do this.
To fall out of a 3-story building.
We thought we could cut some cash here, but like, no.
Nope, you got to. That's the one. It's the one budget you never want to slash. Is your guy falling out of a building budget?
Yeah, it's true.
Got to look real. And the second time he uses his. They have an orb power fight, and Bly gets time copped into dust.
All right. He doesn't crumble into dust. He melts.
That's what I'm saying.
It's T-1000 style. Like,
T-1000 Ron Silver in time.
Yeah, it is. But it's not Ron Silver rules. He doesn't touch himself.
No, he doesn't touch himself. That's true.
I gotta watch Time Cop.
Always. That's always.
Yeah, it's been a
permanent memo.
Second. I've watched it maybe this year, but that's not enough.
I don't think I've watched it this year yet.
Oh no, not this year. Yeah, I watched it 2018.
Definitely watched it last year. Yeah. Hell yeah, we did.
Everybody, remember you gotta watch Time Cop at least twice a year. They say twice a year. 4 times to be safe.
It promotes vigor.
Yeah.
Will improve your SAT scores.
Yep. So yeah, and then lady gets naked again. She's like, "Thanks.
It's time to travel through time
and
again."
Now there's 2 orbs.
Nudity.
Yeah, now there's 2 orbs: the past orb and the future orb, which are technically the same orb.
Yeah.
Which I really liked that they were diving into like weird time travel shit. Like
starting to get into the real kind of paradoxes that make you go cross-eyed.
Right, because if he stole that orb from the past, would the orb from the future even exist? Because it would be...
as long as the orb's not destroyed, it's just the same orb existing in different times.
Yeah, but the orb then has to be returned to the other time. Like...
I'm gonna stop us right now.
Hold on.
You're not going to convince me that Endgame makes sense.
You're right. That's what this really is about. I'm just saying, if I went back in time and I stole that soda that's sitting on this chair, and I brought it into like the future where the soda was still sitting in the chair, and put it down next to it, that means at some point I will have to have returned the soda back for it to still be existing in 2 places on that chair.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. So
Brisco,
they're going to have to bring the orb back. They'll have to go back and they'll take Captain America and they'll
give Captain America the orb.
Yeah. Yeah, Back to the Future gag.
Yeah, they ask where is she going? And he says Back to the Future. Put in an eagle right there. And then they get hired by President Cleveland. It becomes Wild Wild West.
It sure does. That's one of those things where it's like, again, this feels like this should be the series finale. Like, it feels like they were like, and everything's wrapped up. They work for the president now. Right. And Socrates is still their in-between guy.
He's their valet, their liaison still.
Yeah.
But they have a new job, occasionally working crazy gigs for the President of the United States.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it could be the series finale, or it's just... Yeah, it feels very much like this was their ending episode. and they just popped it in there early to make sure they got to wrap up their main storyline, because it does
Where are they
introduce
gonna
like,
go from
hey,
this?
we could have more adventures from the president. Wouldn't that be crazy? Like,
Yeah.
and we still have 7 episodes left, so presumably there will be some crazy adventures.
I don't know, man. It feels like they were just running out of story, and they're like, fuck it, pull the ripcord on the orb. It's like, what we're gonna do afterwards? We'll improvise. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think we've said on a previous episode that the idea for season 2 was that Brisco was going to become the sheriff of a town, and it would be a permanent location in the town, and then it would sort of switch to be like there would be people coming to him with like crazy shit happening.
I know why they thought of that idea is they were like, man, wouldn't it be great if we just had one location?
Yep.
Because this is exhausting trying to pretend this one location is multiple locations.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah, it isn't the adventure of Brisco County Jr. It's plural adventures. So it stands to reason this is but one adventure.
Yeah, I never got the sense that the hunt for the Bly gang was going to be longer than the first season.
Yeah. It's weird, though.
It's like a logical first season, because you can't have like 28 members of the Bly gang.
Right. This is sort of ahead of its time, because when I was going to be watching something called The Adventures of Brisco County Jr., I thought the plural adventures would be every new episode would be a new adventure.
And sometimes they are.
But it's sort of like the season is one long adventure.
It works both ways. It's a very smart title.
It is. It is a very smart title.
Kudos, Jeffrey Boehm.
Yeah.
Screenwriter of The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Rest in paradise.
Let it go. Yeah, a lot of dead people involved in this
show. Well, this is a 25-year-old show.
Yeah.
Bowler is dead.
He died of
sad.
pancreatic cancer in 2008. I looked it up, and I was very sad.
Yeah, that makes me sad.
He had a good run. I mean, he was. I mean, whatever. I don't know his life. He could have been a monster.
It's true.
He was.
I like to believe
in my heart, he's
Bowler in my heart. Yeah.
I don't know if he's done much else.
I think he was in a lot of TV. I don't know.
Okay, good for him.
Yep.
Yeah. Shit, that's it. Those are the episodes.
That's the end of our adventures.
For now. We have one more episode, you guys.
know.
If you're Aaron
So
Burr and you're listening to
exciting.
this, so much time has passed.
Yeah.
It's incredible. If you're listening to this having us put it out, we'll probably put these out simultaneously. Or like within weeks of each other, so it feels like no time has passed. It's kind of like time travel, you guys.
It's a lot like time travel.
Yeah, this has been an epic journey, though, and it's nearing its final
end. Yeah,
act.
I'm
sad.
feeling it. I'm feeling the end game feels. I'm feeling the Game of Thrones feels.
Oh yeah,
I'm feeling.
what's gonna happen?
I don't know.
Who's gonna die at the end of Brisco County Jr.? What if it's all of them?
No, I remember the.
Yeah, of course
finale.
no one dies. It'd be amazing if Socrates dies.
A meteor just comes out of the sky.
Yeah, or just Arya Stark stabs him from nowhere. Just from behind, just...
Fuck you!
Yeah.
She seemed to say.
Yep. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aaron Burr. As always, thanks for making us watch Brisco County Jr.
Yeah, thanks for your support. Thanks for producing this podcast for us and continuing to support us. And thanks to all you people Aaron Burser has been so generous to give this show to. Thank you guys for continuing to listen and support and all that fun junk.
Yeah, and remember to thank Aaron Burr. When you see Aaron Burr, you'll know him when you see him.
You'll know when you see him. He's got that I shot Alexander Hamilton look on his face.
Yeah, he sure does.
Also, he's got that undead flesh rot look on his face because he's been dead for several hundred years.
Plot twist.
You'll know him instantly. It's unmistakable.
It's unmistakable.
You pick him out of any crowd.
Yep.
The guy that looks like a half-rotten skeleton.
Yeah, who hates presidents.
With a wig.
Yeah.
Alexander Hamilton was never president.
Whatever. Do I look like a man who knows history?
Thomas Jefferson made up that you have to be a natural-born citizen to be president specifically because he hated Alexander Hamilton.
What a dickhead.
And never wanted him to be president.
What a dickhead.
Yep.
Right, because they were all not naturally born.
cockbag.
Like, that had to be a later thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Fucking founding father. Those crazy scams.
Creeps.
Yeah.
At least President Grover Cleveland had the foresight to hire Brisco and Bowler.
It's true.
before he gets shot and dies after a long convalescence. The convalescence isn't the right word.
Whatever.
Yep.
Man, let's stop.
Yeah, we should probably stop.
All right.
What does that say about Brisco and Bowler? They couldn't stop Grover Cleveland from getting shot?
Oh, you're right.
Oh, not Grover Cleveland. It's James Garfield. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Grover
okay.
Cleveland doesn't get shot.
Jesus. See, this is how little I know about history.
Dan O'Brien's probably screaming at me right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Eagle
Everybody
sound.
go home.
Throw an eagle sound.
Eagle sound. Bye.
Now, stay tuned for scenes from next week's Brisco County Jr.